One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com. One of our favorite sponsors is back. This episode of No Simple Road is brought to you by
Shop Tour Bus.
Head over to shoptourbus.com and check out the Digital Lot's finest Grateful Dead inspired merchandise anywhere on the planet. You know what? They have a new design this month.
Yeah, they do.
Hell in a bucket.
It is a hell in a hand bucket.
A
Yeah.
hand bucket.
Are all
thing?
buckets hand buckets?
Mostly.
No, a hand bucket has a little handle on it,
Yeah.
like you would carry.
What other kind of bucket is there?
I don't know. A fire bucket. This is definitely a fire bucket. It's got fire and a cool
Yeah,
skull
it
hand
definitely
coming
is.
out. You know what Shop Tour Bus does? Off the nose. Grateful Dead inspired designs, t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, all the cool stuff that we like to wear when we're hanging out or going to shows.
Well, this design has the muscle tee, which is fantastic.
Yeah, they have some really cool, like super soft stuff.
Yes.
And it comes to you in a one-of-a-kind hand-designed box with a Grateful Dead lyric on the inside. Nobody else on the planet is going to have a box like yours, and it's got all kinds of cool extras inside. And some of you are going to get a Grateful Dead
bootleg
cassette tape in your order. Some of you are going to get miracles. So you really do never know what you're going to get from our friends over at Shop Tour Bus. They happen to be the longest sponsors of No Simple
Yeah, they
Road.
are.
And they are part of our family. So check them out, shoptourbus.com online or at shoptourbus on Instagram. And when you check out, put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word, and they are going to give you 10%, or I'm sorry, not 10%. They're going to give you free shipping.
free
That's
shipping.
right.
That's right, free
It's going
shipping.
to come to you for free.
So check that out and make sure to support the No Simple Road family of sponsors.
Have you ever listened to Shred is Dead?
Out of a skull?
What you got at Electric Fish Lights?
Shit.
Well, you certainly can.
You're gonna probably do that when you get one.
Yeah.
Check this out, man. Go to electricfishlights.com and check out what they're doing. They make one-of-a-kind custom light fixtures for your home. These aren't just a boring light that you hang in your
No, they're
house and you
not.
turn it on and off. These are made with a thing called IQ technology, which stands for, are you ready?
Interlocking quadrilaterals.
That's right. It is 30 interlocking pieces that can be configured into 15 different shapes, and it's made from upcycled vinyl like milk jug plastic. And when you put those milk jug plastic vinyl interlocking pieces together, they can make pretty much anything. You
Possibilities are endless.
Endless. So check it out. Go to electricfishlights.com. Check out what they're doing. Get yourself hooked up with a sports team lamp, your favorite steal your face lamp, or
A pickle
heart.
Rick.
A pickle Rick. Or you could
A
even
Minion, SpongeBob. There's, I mean, you think of it.
There's so many
they'll
cute
do it.
things there.
And you could even like try and stump them, come up with something that you think would be difficult to make a IQ light out of, and they can probably hook it up. And you can get color changing upgrade bulbs. You can get Bluetooth speaker bulbs that change color. All these come with a 12-year energy efficient, safe to leave on bulb, hardware kit to hang the light, and some of you lucky few are going to get a No Simple Road collaborative print. If you get the color changing bulb upgrade, you are going to get a poster that John from Electric Fish Lights and I came up with together.
And trust me, you want to get the upgrade because these will make your posters, it'll make anything in your house. It'll make your blank white walls come to life.
Yes,
every
it
color of
does.
the rainbow just flashing off everything. And you got to do it.
True. And, you know, if you were thinking about painting your room, you could just get an IQ light and paint your room with light and save yourself the hassle of smelling stinky paint. I'm just saying. Go to electricfishlights.com, put in the promo code NSR when you check out. You're going to get 10% off, and you're going to be supporting the fam, man. So go hook it up. Electric Fish Lights, get enlightened.
One of No Simple Road's wonderful sponsors is out here in the Portland area, and it is
Define Premium Cannabis.
Define has all of your cannabis needs, including tinctures, including flour, including bath salts, including tinctures and rubs. They have everything you need to calm down, relax, dress your sore muscles, aches, pains. And they have 2 locations in the Portland area, one in Hillsborough, one in Forest Grove.
And you know what, man? There's a lot of podcasts out there that give you promo codes like we do and give you, you know, introductory offers and all that. But I'm going to tell you something, man. Not a lot of podcasts out there give you 10% off your weed.
No.
And not a lot of podcasts out there clothe you. So when you go in, tell them you're part of the No Simple Road family. You're going to get 10% off your purchase every time. And the first time you go in and you tell them you're part of the family, you're going to get a free t-shirt. So we're going to put clothes on your back. We're going to get you stoned. We're going to give you a discount. And if you go to the Hillsborough location Monday through Friday and you ask for Apple, he will come out of the back dressed like a deadhead.
Yeah, that's not much of a stretch. That's a usual thing.
No, and his encyclopedic cannabis knowledge will come floating out of his brain into the case and find you the perfect cannabis product.
I do.
Yeah.
I know a lot of things.
He does.
A lot of
He knows
strains.
some stuff. So go check it out, man. Hillsborough and Forest Grove, 2 locations. They're hooking it up. If you live in Portland and you haven't gone to Define and you're part of the No Simple Road family, you're blowing it, man.
Hey everyone, Chris Pandolfi from the infamous String Dusters here to let you know that my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, is back on the airwaves for Season 4, which means it's time once again to get deep with influential musicians from all across the musical landscape to really understand and translate the lessons of success, failure, inspiration, and hard work that are behind the music and the artists that we love. My guests this season include Rachel Price from Lake Street Dives, Sam Bush, Chris Wood, Chris Funk from The Decemberists, Lindsay Liu, MC Taylor from His Golden Messenger, and more. Check us out, and thanks for listening.
We're so excited to tell you a bit about today's sponsor, Music Masters Collective. They are a nonprofit organization that produces unique music events, providing opportunities for fans and artists to meet and collaborate in an inspired and creative atmosphere.
Music Masters Collective events give you the opportunity to learn from world-class musicians like Otil Burbridge, Steve Earle, Richard Thompson, former members of the band, the Milk Carton Kids, Nikki Glaspie, the Fab Four, and Sean Colvin, and so many more.
At an event like the Milk Carton Kids Sad Song Summer Camp happening this July, you can expect immersive classes, evenings of entertainment, excellent food, and a space for a lucky group of folks to learn, co-write, workshop, and perform with like-minded peers, all with the guidance of Kenneth Pattengale, Joey Ryan, and some of their favorite songwriters. This all-inclusive week in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York is guaranteed to be magical. Scholarships are available and spots are extremely limited, so visit www.sadsongsummercamp.com/simple to learn more. That's www.sadsongsummercamp.com/simple. Check it out.
No simple road. No simple road. No simple road. No simple road.
Literally hanging out. Look at him.
literally
He's upside
hanging
down.
out.
His butt's over.
He's gonna get all
in
the
my
blood
face.
rushing to his head.
He's a
Hey,
silly,
no,
he's a
No
silly
Simple Road
chicky
family.
monkey.
What's
He's
up,
doing
everybody?
inversions.
We have landed. The ship has landed back on the ground.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of No Simple Road. How's everybody
Welcome
doing?
back, family.
This is
Welcome
Aaron.
back, everybody.
This is Aaron.
It's Mel.
This is Apple. Welcome back.
If you hear snoring in the background, that's Darwin.
That's Darwin.
He is sawing some fat logs down there. So yeah, the ship has landed. We have made it back to Portland safe and sound. We are more or less in line and here back in the studio.
And we want to welcome Marcus Rezak to the show today.
Welcome, Marcus,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this episode of No Simple Road. You guys, if you don't know who Marcus Rezak is, he is the founding member of Shred is Dead and multiple other amazing musical projects, and a shredder on the guitar, and just a rad human being. We had a blast talking to him, man.
Yeah, we did.
But, you know, No Simple Road doesn't do the normal format of podcasts where we just like, yeah, this week is Marcus Rezak, and then we go into the interview. We talk for a while before that, and we have a lot to talk about this week.
I don't think there's normal formats of podcasts.
Kind of. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, and they kind of just do that, but we don't. We're different. So
Are you? You're different?
We are different.
we are definitely different. Different bunch of human
How are you
beings in this
different,
room.
babe?
Well, how would I even start that sentence? First of all, I'm from space. My mom was a trapeze artist. My dad was a movie producer. Should I continue?
I mean, you're just telling me your history. How
Oh,
are
you
you?
asked how I was different. That's pretty different. Anybody else out there can say that. I'll please email me at info@nosimpleroad.com. I'd love to meet you.
Well, I'm capable of saying that. It wouldn't be true, but I can say that.
Just email
I
him,
can say
Apple.
lots of things. My dad was a crocodile. My mom, oh,
Was he?
yeah, yep.
All right. He's
Yeah,
a
you
little
can't
crabby
tell.
too. Anyway, everybody.
That's why I'm so snappy.
We just got back from the gorge, and as you could tell, we're stretched a little thin. But
Can they tell that?
What day is it today?
We're doing great.
Let's say
yeah.
not unless we point it
Today's
out.
Wednesday, September 1st.
So we got back Monday evening, and we left. We missed the Friday show at the Gorge of Fish. We got there at 10 o'clock at night and set up our camp in the cold rain and snow in the wind.
And that was perfect because we rode into the gorge. The show was going on, which we could hear from several miles away and see the light show. Rolled in. It was a ghost town because
Zero
everybody was in the
traffic.
show. No traffic. Right in, and we just finished setting up camp as the last song was playing and the encore was getting
That's
ready
so
to start.
true. It was literally the most perfect timing, and it was a little cold, but perfect to set up your camp so you're not all hot and sweaty.
That's
and,
true.
And we had a light that was right over our camp, so we didn't really have any issues with lighting, and it was just the perfect way to step into that, because if we would have gotten there on Saturday morning, traffic and the heat and the clusterfuck of everything,
That would have sucked Saturday morning. We would have
No.
been tense with each other.
No, it was perfect. We actually set up and broke down our camp in the most calm, non-fighty way that we've ever had.
If you
Cool
guys
collective.
have ever seen, there's a bumper sticker out there that says, "I'm sorry for what I said when we were setting up the tent." And there's a reason that bumper sticker exists.
Yeah, like everybody, when you go camping, you're all excited to go camping, but it's fucking frustrating, and it's tension, and it's like a lot of things that you don't anticipate when you say, "I want to go camping."
No shit.
Well, like that, it's right in the name. It's right up front there. Tense. I mean, it warns
yes, you're
you.
right, Apple.
Mel and I were, I'll give us a 10 out of 10 on tent selection,
Yes.
because Mel and I selected a tent with one pole. That's it.
Yeah, it's
You just have to
pretty
walk
awesome.
in
That
and
is
push
pretty
the
dope.
tent to the pole up, and the tent is set up. So there's really, it's argument-free tent setup every time.
just
with that
like
one.
where you're gonna put it, how, like dumb little things.
And
how
it's
you're
got a,
gonna-
what would you call what? It's got an Aleister Crowley hat.
oh my gosh,
It has a little witch hat. On
It
top.
does.
It's a teepee.
It's dope.
It is.
A
pretty
lot
cool.
of people stop by. Can we check out your tent? It's like a teepee, but it's not. It's cooler than that. Kind
yeah, it is cooler than a T. It's great. It's stylish. It's spacious.
See, that's how I'm different.
Yeah.
I have a teepee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was, our setup was so perfect because Cody came with us. So Aaron and Apple drove down together, and Cody and I followed.
Get
Well,
inverted amigos on
that's
Instagram.
right. And we had such a great time. He had his little trailer and his car, and then we had our tents and our 10 by 10. And we set up our little spot. It was so comfortable and so relaxing, and it was really a great space.
So as we were driving up to the gorge, like Mel just said, she was in the car with Cody. I drove up with Apple, and Apple didn't get to go to Hershey. He had to work and stayed back. And you know, like when your friends or your family are going on a trip without you, it sucks, man. Like, and then we come back all shot out of a cannon,
Pumped up.
fucking.
Well, I was gonna say
flying high.
any old regular trip would be like, oh, I'm glad you guys had fun. And like I said, I wasn't jealous. Jealous isn't the word, but you guys came back, shot out of a cannon, tuned in again, and we're out front, like, listen to this, like dancing, and you had the full groove back, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm like grabbing for straws, like, oh yeah, I'm into it too, kinda. So yeah, this was.
It is. It's kind of like leaving somebody behind when they know what you're going to go do.
Yeah.
Well, and plus John and Amy, the entire week leading up to this, John and Amy from Electric
Oh my
Fish
gosh.
Lights were staying here with us, and they came from Hershey also. That
Yeah.
went with her. So I had 4 people that were just jazzed and dancing, which I get jazzed and dancing, but not as much as they could. So this was a weekend for all of us, and I got amped up.
Well, yeah,
I got
and
plugged back in.
As we were driving, I told Apple, I was like, look, man, you're going to get tuned up this weekend. This is going to be amazing. But one of the things I'm most excited about is for you to see how big the No Simple Road family has grown.
Yes.
Because that's what happened to me and Mel when we went to Pennsylvania. We were blown away by people walking up to us that recognized us from the show and our Instagram page and knew us. And, you know, the thing that I heard the most from people is it weird that I know you?
Yeah, I actually heard that quite a bit too, and I guess I don't know how to answer that question because
I do.
Sometimes, well, how would you answer it?
Like I told Kelly, hi Kelly, that it's not weird anymore. I'm used to it now. It's really not. I mean, at this point, if somebody knows me because of the show, it's an of course, because fuck, we've been doing this for almost 5 years now. So it's like, of course you know me.
Well, I guess I'm getting out of that for sure. I think everybody knows now, especially if you're a listener, that it was weird at first for me. But I think I told Kelly this too, and maybe even Brad. I've had to get over it, and I've gotten over it. And maybe, you know, back in the past when it was still just kind of slowly climbing up, but now that we're in our environment, like going to a Fish show or a concert and people recognize us, now it feels good.
It does.
It feels different.
And seeing, or not, I'm sorry, rewind that. Hearing from you all what the show's done for you
Yes.
is the most incredible gift to us, because, you know, we're here in our studio and doing this. We don't know the effect that it has on you out there. We know what it does for us, and it fills our cups, but knowing that it does something for you guys is
Fills our cup again.
I came up with the word I kept coming up with. It's like, that's not this word. It's enriching.
yeah.
It's enriching to our lives as it is to yours. It's like that mutual exchange. Because I kept saying it. It's like validating. Well, that's not the word. It's enriching. It makes it better. It makes you. It's like a good meal. Like eat it, and you're like, yeah, I'm full of energy. I'm jazzed to do this.
It's how I imagine the band feels when they see people dancing to their music.
Yes.
that feeling. Like,
And-
fuck yeah, we're in this together.
And boy, did we dance to the music
Yeah.
this past
I think
weekend.
I danced a little bit.
And we met, like Aaron was just saying that I was caught off guard by that because I was prepared that we were going to see listeners that we'd met before and haven't had a chance to see in quite a while. And we're going to meet new people, but it was like all over. It was the lot line in the show. It was amazing. Who Brad. Oh my God. Brad from Iowa. You were amazing. You came up to us. When was that? That was before Sunday
the
night show.
Yeah.
Also got approached by Patrick, came by right around the time Brad did. Patrick was from Huntington Beach.
I don't think
talked
I
to
saw
him for a
Patrick.
few minutes.
Kelly here from Portland.
Yeah, Kelly, who we're going to be hanging out with, which has a fantastic restaurant and butcher place and everything up here that we'll be taking advantage of. Tails and Trotters.
If you live in the Portland area, go check out Tails and Trotters. They have the finest pork sandwiches and stuff. This pork is finished on hazelnuts. This is not, this isn't grocery
special.
store pork.
Well, they also deliver. I was looking at their site today. I didn't realize it's like a full butcher shop of pork stuff. They have so many kinds of bacon and different hams and all kinds. I know they deliver up here. I'm not sure if they ship
Right on.
or anything, but
that was
sounds
so sweet,
amazing,
man. Like Kelly said, this was like one of the highest compliments I got all weekend. She said, I don't know if this is weird or not, but like I turned my garage into a disco during the quarantine, and like we stream shows and like I get super high and daydream about inviting NSR over to party with me. I was like, that is not weird at all. We have to do that. It's like,
yeah, that's
hell yeah.
awesome.
So I know that like the experience that Mel and I had at Hershey, meeting all of you and like Cully and all the other people
There's
that we
so
met
many,
out there,
and some of them didn't even say their names
Right.
too.
It tuned us up, and knowing that Apple was going to get that too, and then seeing his reaction on Monday morning after everything was done and we were tearing down camp, it made me so proud of the listeners of this show. That you guys are such fucking dope human beings.
Yeah. And we can't forget Joe Moore.
Oh,
we had such a good time. Joe, we had such a
We
good
walked
time
in the show
hanging out with
together.
you, man. You are such an awesome human being.
And Garrett from Universe Peoples, hanging out with him. And you know what, man? It's just
Amanda and Kenzo.
Yeah, the family is growing by leaps and bounds. And all of you, I just want you to know how important you are to us. I know we say it all the time, but like, I want to impress.
It's nice to reiterate.
Yeah,
Sorry,
to iterate it.
Yeah, to iterate it and reiterate it.
Yeah.
How special the connections that you guys feel to us, and that when we meet you, we feel right back.
It really does. Like, it's hard to put into words. It transcends language for me, and that's why I try and like I'm a word guy. I try and get it out. You guys, I want you to understand how important it is to us that we get to meet you and become friends with you and family and keep in touch and hang out and do what we do. The connection with you is the fuel that keeps us doing the show. And this last month at Fish Shows has really reawakened the three of us and reinvigorated us. It was, we all went through our shit in the last year, and I feel like the three of us are all on the same frequency again, on the same page, and looking forward and hopeful for a bright future.
Yeah. It's like my tank just got topped off with like jet fuel filled to the top, ready to take off, turn on the afterburners. We're ready to go. And man, there's so much more coming up.
So out of the 2.5 days or 2.25 days that we were there, Apple, what was your favorite moment?
favorite moment of like the whole weekend, or of the fish.
I say,
The
how
whole
about
thing.
some highlights? Because it's so hard.
I was gonna say favorite.
There's
moment.
no favorite for me. I can't answer. that. There's no way.
I'll start with some highlights. Like when one of the major highlights was we had such a big crew up there, people we met. It was amazing to have Christina there and get to meet her man Fernando in our camp. Cody going with us and going to his first fish show was amazing because Cody was not a big listener of fish and everything. He kind of went with no expectations, just ready to have a good time. Seeing his reaction to fish Saturday night was just amazing to see. It's like one of those things, like another brother was recruited into the fish army type thing. I mean, of course, the shows. I can't even remember right now what all they played, but I mean, like Aaron said at the park, he's I don't care if they play Happy Birthday for 3 hours; it would still be the most amazing thing because fish just everything they do is so amazing. But it was, I'd say if I had to pick one thing, it was the magic was back. It was a meeting. It was a meeting of magic. There was 27,000 people there. And it was so full of love and light and good intention from the band to, everybody in the lot. It was just amazing, the entire thing. And picking highlights is tough. I'd have to say my highlight of the shows, because there were so many good things, but was actually the end Sunday night. Because you guys went to Hershey and you guys got first tube, and Mel came back
as an opener.
And Mel, as an opener, Mel came back. And I love that. I think everybody loves that song. Mel came back so excited. That was like her new favorite from that. And then after the whole weekend, when that's what they played to end Sunday night, and standing on the lawn, and it struck me too, first tube. And watching Trey, it is like riding a wave, like the most perfect pipeline wave that you're just shooting through the barrel, and just dun 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 dun.
I was like, oh, that's why it's called First Tube.
Yeah, and it was amazing. And Cody's reaction to Possum became Cody's new favorite. Was just like Possum, so excited, and I mean, just getting to hang out with everybody. There was so much family, friend. I don't know. I'm just at a loss for words other than that. I mean, it was so much.
It's hard to do these recaps close to the show or far away from the show, because the further you get, the more you forget. But the closer you are, the more you're still taking it in, and
running barefoot. That was my other favorite thing.
Yeah.
Got in there, ditched my shoes. I was running up and down. I didn't care because there's concrete, asphalt, there's everything at the gorge. I was up and down all over the place. That's so much fun.
What about you, Mel?
Gosh, well, definitely first tube closer was my favorite part of the show. I don't know why that is such a strong song for me. And they're not even saying one word. I'm true to myself within the fact that I love instrumentals. I just love that because it doesn't distract any of my own personal thoughts that are happening, but the music is sending me somewhere still. So the fact that they opened that, and then being with John and Amy when they played that at the end was extra special, because it was me and Apple now and Aaron and John and Amy, and we were all together, and that was the ending of everything. It was oh my God. And having John and Amy here the whole week, I was sad to see them go on Sunday.
Really sad.
I was really sad.
It was hard.
And, I just can't convey or impress upon everybody how strong of a connection that we all had while we were together. And so it felt like breaking apart. And it was also this amazing celebration. So I was sad and excited, and just feeling all the feels of one thing that I didn't expect to happen was to really get sprung on fish. I really didn't expect that to happen. I love them. I think they're amazing, but I really felt fuck, I'll just fucking, go all in. And, I just love that. 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 And, I just go on tour right now. I've never felt like that by myself. Like, okay, the idea sounds fun, but my emotion wanting to do that, like my insides feeling like I wanted to do that, I've never felt that. You know, like, okay, Farron wants to, that's cool. But like I did, and I was like, what the
Like, it's dangerous territory right
it's
there, baby.
Dangerous.
Because I'm...
Well, it is dangerous. No, I'm reluctant to even talk about it because Aaron and I have been, of course, joking around. Like this morning, I was like, what, you didn't book our friggin' tickets to Shoreline? So what, we're not going to Dick's now? And he was like... what? Like, but I would clearly
fuck around and find out.
I was joking and not joking, but like I got sprung. Something happened where I was like, I understand why I want to, like, what, like, maybe I don't understand why. I just feel the feeling of I need to do this. I want to do this. And so that was kind of floating around in my head. And like Apple said, we had so much family. I haven't seen Blaze and Crystal in so long because of the pandemic and everything. And so just to get to see them and be with them, and, you know, once you're in the camp, like Apple also mentioned Christina and Fernando, like once you're in the camp, it really truly is a family. I don't care what anybody says. It's like the feeling of being around family, camping, outside, leisure time. There's nothing like that. And then we get to celebrate at the end of the night with this amazing band. And it's even to say like church, I feel like that doesn't give it enough like power. It's something
it's
even
above that.
It's above that. There's like a spiritual, yes. And another huge highlight that I'm sure Aaron will talk and touch on was there was no other time that we could do this podcast that we were doing with Jeff except for Sunday at the Gorge. So we'd been planning on doing this podcast since last year, you know, tail end of last year. And Aaron got a call from Jeff saying, they're all going to be together. Can we do it on that Sunday? We're like, oh shit, we're going to be at the Gorge. We're like, we don't connection. We're like trying to be
spun.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And the way that we were able to incorporate that into our day and the content that came out of it and the amount of like release of pressure of something good happen. Like, okay, like it's like being scared to say your vows, and then you say your vows and then it's done and you're like, yes, we're married. We can go freaking cut a rug, have a drink. Like the pressure's off. And that was so good leading into Sunday night's like show was like, dang,
invigorating.
We not only have we been spending time with family, set up the camp, amazing Saturday show, but we finished this podcast and now we're going to go stroll into Sunday's show, get a first tube closer. And what? All of it was surreal, and I'm still kind of reeling from it. I don't want to go back to reality. Like I did already. I went back to work and it was great and fine, but I don't want to. I'll say that right now.
I'm with you, baby.
I don't want to.
I don't want
to.
And I think the fish should be Fish Tour 2022. Huggy Dancy Tour. Because it is like so obviously in the last 2 years have not hugged and danced as much as we did this weekend.
Yep.
And it was
medicine.
Like we were all talking about you in this last 2 years almost, you kind of start getting used to not going to things.
Yes.
Complacent.
You kind of forget, you remember like, oh, I remember that was so much fun. But as soon as you do it again, it's life.
Renews you.
It's fucking life.
Well, you remember why it was important to
yes.
you. That's the thing that was really, not so much with Yonder and the Dusters and Green Sky. It kind of, but being in that big of a crowd at Hershey is what really brought it back to me. Was like, oh shit, this is why we're doing No Simple Road. This is why we spent summers being strung out and tired and exhausted. This is why I go drive myself nuts doing shit. Like, this is the reason for everything that we do. And I remember this feeling, and like, it like all washed off. All that shit that had been on me for all that
got cracked away.
And it was like brand new again. Like I found the thing for the first time again. And I feel like the band is like that too. They're playing so hard. Dude, a 46-minute Soul Planet last night. Like, they're playing so hard. It's like they're playing for their lives. And it's really coming across. And it's magic. That's it, period. That's the reason that we do it. That's why I'll sleep in a parking lot for 2 nights. That's why I'm going to book flights for us to go to San Francisco. That's why.
Oh my God.
That's why it's happening. Like, I'm not leaving it behind to
now,
do other shit.
It also impressed upon me, like, we don't have infinite anything. Like, we think we do, but we just don't. We don't know when it'll be taken away from us.
No,
the time is now.
The time is fucking now. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to put a downer, but look what's gone on in Afghanistan in this short while. Nobody expected that. Things happen and you are not expecting them. You step off the curb wrong. You freaking get your freaking foot smashed.
Somebody
like,
stains on your ankle while they're dancing.
yeah, like,
Ow.
it just, that did happen to somebody that we love, and I'm sorry.
It's cool.
But it just impressed upon me that the time is now, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why it felt like I didn't want to go back. Like, I want to do this until I can't, and then I'll be fine. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Take me back. I'll go back in handcuffs. Fine.
I was like, well, okay, now I just got to say, too, this was really funny on Sunday night because Mel would not leave until, she was like, I'm not leaving until they kick me out.
But I have a picture of me and like 2 other people in the entire auditorium.
Mel was laying in the grass, and I'm like, Mel, we need to leave.
Not auditorium,
everybody's leaving. And she's like, I'm not leaving until they kick me out.
And I didn't.
And she didn't.
Well, it was great. It was like, and I love you for this, babe, but you're like just staying there, like all like pinch faced, and Apple was leaving and like, no, I'm staying. And I'm like, no, get out of here. I have plenty of chaperones. Crystal and Blaze were here. John was.
I was like, okay, bye.
No, you weren't that quick. You're like, I'm staying. And then I was like, they're leaving, babe. Like, it was just so good to be able to have my experience, my own experience, instead of like, okay, now we're done. We have to go. Like, I wasn't done. I needed to soak in more. I needed to be there. And then I ended up getting to go to the merch table, which was outlandishly long the entire time. And I got some little fun gifts for people. And it was
bought
just
my new favorite socks.
Yep. And yeah, so that was another thing. Like, going to fish in the gorge, what was it, 2018? Was that 20? So that first one, when I realized all the freedom that fish afforded, like as far as like running and skipping and dancing and being open, I remember the feeling I forgot again. It just, that feeling of being open and running and
like an antelope out of control.
Yeah. Like a freaking wildebeest, like just running and having a great time. It was just so great. Like,
so in talking about the shows, like for me, the closer on Saturday night was,
which I don't remember.
It was Bittersweet Motel and I'm About to Run. And I've heard both of those songs a ton, but I heard them in a new light. And Bittersweet Motel is one of my new favorite songs. And then I'm About to Run.
I was so glad we got that.
I know that Trey wrote Ghost of the Forest when his friend was passing away. And that song is from that. And so I always thought of that song through that lens. But I heard I'm About to Run, I think, how Trey meant it that night. And I realized that those of us that struggle with mental issues or addiction, we share this dark passenger. I think everybody has it.
Yeah, I was going to say everybody does.
But there's a particular flavor of that likes to burn stuff down and run away. And I have never heard that put so eloquently and so emotionally correct Like, I could have been singing that song. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it could have been me. That's my head from a while ago. And it was just really beautiful and dark. A really kind of a weird, dark way to end the show.
And that was a weird dark night.
Yeah.
When they came, just before we started recording this, Cody stopped by with his beautiful wife, Bree, and he was kind of giving his recap out there with Bree listening. And he said when he's standing there Saturday night, like, I mean, when Fish comes on, a lot of times like they did there, they walk on stage and they go to it. And they went into Carini. And he was describing it. He's like, I'm standing there just like looking around. Then all of a sudden everybody's like, Carini. Aaron's like, whoa, Carini. And he's like, I'm just like, oh my God, Carini. And he didn't even know what it was.
I don't know what that means, but I'm in.
And and that night was amazing. The other one too is 5:55. Because that one I've heard several times and everything, and that number, because I was born at 5:55 in the morning, and that one hit me hard that night. Everybody was singing that one so hard.
Yeah.
It was, and then into Divided Sky from that, they're so awesome.
Yeah. So that, Saturday night, that was the closers, and it really made me introspective for the rest of the night. It just like, it struck me. I used to think that Fish was silly and stupid a long time ago. And I feel silly and stupid now for thinking that. And, don't play. We're going to get copywritten tagged.
Yeah, that was an accident. I was trying to look at what they played.
I don't, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to explain things to people that get it.
Yeah.
And so, the show ends, we go back to camp and into the circus that is the Fish Lot, and the Gorge Fish Lot was extra this year. And like Mel was saying, we're starting a new podcast called No Simple Disruption, a part of our, I don't know.
It's a collaboration.
Part of our channel, a collaboration with Saint Disruption, John Medeski, and Jeff Firewalker. And our first guest on that show chose Rising Appalachia as their guest. So it was Medeski, us, Jeff Firewalker, our poet, and Rising Appalachia. And the only time that they could do it was Sunday. And like Mel said, all the worry and, I got to conduct this thing. Like, we're the moderators of this discussion podcast that's going to happen on Sunday at 12:45 in the afternoon in the lot with, the party happening, and I'm spun, and I was optimistic and nervous, and it was fucking awesome, man. Like, we set everything up, we got ready, we got on the phone, there were no technical problems.
We did have one little cute little thing. We had Mel go over.
And, No Simple Road's part in that podcast is to moderate the discussion. And it was the inaugural episode, and it was incumbent on me to, set the space and the tone for the entire thing. And that's a big deal, man. Like, I'm dealing with heavy hitters here, like Medeski and Rising Appalachia and Jeff Firewalker, who is a shaman of the highest order. And they're trusting me to set the space and the tone for a work that we're going to do together. And that, I didn't take that lightly.
No, you didn't.
And it was really cool to be spun and have had the experience that I had the night before, because it set me at ease in my skin, and I fucking knocked that shit.
So
out
it
of the
helped
park.
you.
Yeah, it really helped. I just stepped into my power and my shoes and just went for it.
Because before then you were thinking that it was going to hinder your performance, and so it did the opposite.
It did the opposite. I just did it, and it
Cool,
felt
babe.
so natural and liberating and right and strong. And I left that fuck yeah when it was done. I did it, and it felt good, and I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah, so, and then, seeing Cody's childlike
Cody and I
exuberance on
realized
Saturday.
that we were twins that during the weekend. So Cody and I had our long, car ride there. And during Saturday night's show, there was a certain point where Cody looked over and he was like, you know what? I just realized that we were twins in another life. And I was like, when the minute he said it, I knew it was true. I was like, I always think about Cody as like my perfect opposite. And even his clothes, I'm always like, oh my God, I love those shorts. I never say it I just say it to myself, but I always love Cody's outfits. And I was like, oh my God, if I'd totally be into the stuff that Cody was into. Like he's foraging and for friggin' mushrooms and like creating these amazing briskets and like playing with rocks. And he's
a trip.
He's an amazing addition. And if I were Cody, I would be Cody.
Well said.
I don't know how else to say that. Yeah. It was really cool to just know and feel that, like, since Fish at Hershey, I've been getting lots and lots of psychic and cosmic communication and lots and lots of synchronicities with the No Simple Road family. And that was another one that happened. And I can't really go into it. That's way too long, but there's just so much that Fish has brought since we went to Hershey that's why I want to explore it. I feel like there's something for me at the end of this.
There is no end.
Well, I mean, the end of this season.
Okay. Yeah, there is an end of the season. It's coming soon to a theater near you. Yeah. So I felt like if Fish at the Gorge was a mountain, I fucking planted my flag at the top of that thing.
That's great, baby.
Yeah. And, coming home, saying goodbye to the family, and especially John and Amy, was particularly difficult for me. I had a hard time with that this go round.
We all manned up, but at the end,
yeah,
it was
tough.
It was very
tough.
emotional.
We all hugged each other about 20 times.
Yeah, we didn't. None of us wanted to leave.
We got to mention too. Well, that was all happening. Ryan.
Oh my God.
We looked for. Well, we kept our eye. Well, you don't look for. You keep your eye open, your senses open for somebody. We didn't see Ryan all weekend. We're packing up camp, all saying goodbye, getting ready. I mean, within minutes of rolling out, heading
all
home.
Of a sudden, I
and
turn
here comes
around.
Ryan walking down the road.
Well, I was like facing the opposite way, and all I see is friggin' Ryan's gorgeous, tall self,
and that
walking
smile.
by himself toward our goodbye camp. And I was like, Ryan, is that you? And with his beautiful grin, he like shows all his teeth in a big old smile and runs over and gives me like the best hug ever.
For those of you that don't know, Ryan is a listener of the show that won tickets to the Peacock Pickin' Party.
Yeah,
and,
to Yonder and
to Yonder
Infamous String Dusters.
And the Dusters.
Yeah, and he clearly had an incredible time too, because
he's like
wondering whether he was going to go to the next shows, or
he's like, I was at another camp and I realized everybody was leaving, and then I was like, oh shit, my car's in the other parking lot and all my possessions are over there. I should probably think about that stuff now. Yeah, man, don't leave your car and your possessions in the parking lot.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, it would be easy to do. Oh shit,
heavy.
I left all my stuff there.
I got one more thing to add, just because I was looking at the set list again. On Sunday night, I so loved How Many People Are You? When that came on, I'm not really familiar. I'm still learning Fish's catalog.
That's a Mike song.
Is that was everybody, all of us were it was like
it was a fun song.
It was like kids just learning how to dance the way we were all dancing, and everybody's going like 7, at least 20. I don't know. I can't count. We're like answering how many people are you?
It was an interactive song.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
Yeah, man. So, I know Trey listens to the show. Mike and John.
Hey, Trey.
Babe,
hey,
it's
Mike.
messing
Hey,
again.
Paige.
Thank you guys for
Fishman looking dope.
Yep, for taking care of us this weekend, and for really, really putting your souls on the line. And
Oh man,
you know what, man? I have so much respect for them.
yes.
It's not easy doing what they're doing, period. It's doubly not easy doing what they're doing right now with everything that's going on. And they're doing it with such class and grace, and they're fucking playing the best I've ever heard them play. And they're making so many people happy. They're spreading so much love and joy out into the world right now.
And like that, the one thing we said too, that was, I mean, not that anybody else wouldn't do it. They'd do it if they could, but when they had to cancel the Tahoe shows, I mean, bless all those people up there and those fires going on up there. They had to cancel the Tahoe shows, you know, and they immediately moved it to Shoreline because they knew how important it was. And
then they burned Shoreline to the ground.
Happiness is like scarce right now, and it has been over the last couple years. And what they're doing is not a luxury, is what I realized. Yes, you don't have to go to a fish show, and you don't have to camp, and you don't have to, so you'll live without it. But the quality of life after a fish show and the amount of energy that you get after a fish show keeps you going. It keeps you going emotionally. It gives you like new headspace. It connects you to source, which is, this is what one thing I wanted to say. Doing Kundalini yoga is a very strong practice personally. But when you do Kundalini yoga in groups, the group energy creates such a strong vibration. And I was thinking about that with fish, like, wow, this is like a 3-hour meditation where everybody's participating, and there's no rules. You don't have to sit down. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to do anything, but be there and enjoy and like celebrate your way. And it just, it floored me. It floored me how important it was. And I'm still a little tired today. I was still a little bit out of it as far as like, not 100% of my energy is back, my natural energy. But then I thought about this too. Like, say we would have went to Mexico and laid on the beach and had sunshine and drank margaritas. Like, I'd come home exhausted too. Like,
that's why people say you need a vacation. From
a vacation, no matter what it is necessary. And so, I don't know. I just wanted to say that I love fish too, and I'm so appreciative of all of y'all, the experience. The gorge is so fucking incredible, and I don't know. I look forward to the rest of this year and see what it brings.
I support mandatory vacations.
Yeah. Yes,
definitely.
And FYI, Aaron, it's still doing it. I just did it right now.
Okay. I have to say, man, once again, thanks to the No Simple Road family.
Yep.
You people are amazing, and I'm really grateful for all of you, and I can't wait to meet more of you.
That's what I was going to say. We handed out that anybody that's listening to this for the first time, listening to us, thank you so much. We handed out a lot of stickers, met a lot of new people. We walked up in the middle of a lot of your crews and just handed stickers to everybody. Hope you're listening. And I know I did. I'm sure Aaron and Mel did too. When we hand out those stickers and tell you what we're doing, we encourage you to reach out to us.
Yeah.
To leave us messages. We'll tell you those things you can do when we get to the business in a bit. But we this is growing, and it is freaking.
It's a thing.
So
started
amazing.
A thing. All right, everybody.
Yep.
Let's do the business. You ready?
Okay, here's the business part. This is where we'll tell you, new listeners, what you can do to help us out, so we can continue to help you out.
Here's the scoop. Follow us on all the social media platforms, mainly Instagram and Twitter, at No Simple Road. If you're into Facebook, we do have the No Simple Road family group, and you can follow No Simple Road. For some reason, I've been in Facebook jail for like 2 years, and you can't suggest the page, and there's violation. I don't know, man. I don't understand it. Whatever. At No Simple Road is our handle on social media platforms. Also, you can go to www.nosimpleroad.com. And you can find all the back episodes there. You can find the newest episodes there.
Find our cool merch.
Yep, there is a merch tab. There is a sign-up page for the newsletter. I put out newsletters periodically about what's going on with us. There's also a calendar of events, so you know where we're going to be, and you can come hang out with us. If you don't have somebody to go to a show with that we're going to, hit us up and come to the show with us. Invitation is always open to listeners to hit us up. If you don't have somebody to go to a show with, hit us up and we will hook up and party together.
Yeah.
That is what it's all about. We are going to be at the Wonder Ballroom on the 10th for Circles Around the Sun. We are going to be seeing Banshee Tree on
The 9th, September 9th.
I don't think
Thursday.
it's the 9th.
I think it's tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow, actually. They're going to be here tomorrow at our house.
Yeah.
So I think the show is tomorrow night.
We're not sure about that. We didn't look at our.
Yeah.
Check that out. Also, yeah, go check that out. There's a calendar of events. Also, you guys, if you want to support the show financially, go to patreon.com/No Simple Road. Look, doing this podcast costs money. 2020 sucked. We weren't able to go out and make money that year. We lost a lot of funds, and the coffers are a little dry. So we need your help to continue doing what we do with No Simple Road and putting out these episodes and talking to the artists and doing the things that we do. And the way we do that is through patreon.com/No Simple Road. And what that is a way that you can sign up monthly. You can give as little as $1. We call it cute dollars.
Cute dollars.
You give a cute $1.
That's right.
And then you become a Chan donator. Always will be, as much as you can.
They love fresh vegetables.
Yeah, Chan donators love fresh vegetables. And, you know, you can give $20 a month, 30, 50, 100, $1 million. If you gave $1 million, that would be really cool too.
We're open.
We are. But that is how we pay for everything, and we need your help. So patreon.com/No Simple Road. Also, if you want to do something for the show that doesn't cost a single stinking red cent, all it costs is a little thumb energy, is you go to Apple Podcasts and you leave us a 5-star review.
There was not one this week.
Oh, bummer.
Last one was August 12th.
Hey, you listening right now?
Well,
that
we did get
person?
one in August at least.
Yeah, we did get one in August.
All
Beginning
right.
of September, you could be the first September review. It
Yeah.
could be you. So go there, leave a 5-star, type a little few nice words for us, and we'll read it on the show. And what that does for us is it puts us into the Apple Podcast algorithm or Spotify algorithm, and it, what's the word I'm looking for? Recommends us. That's the word. Recommends
Yes.
us to other people that like the same kind of stuff you do. So that really helps out the show.
Yep.
And last but not least, the single most important thing you can do for us.
Tell a friend.
That's it.
Tell a friend.
tell a
that you-
family member.
Yeah.
There's something. We have a deep catalog. There's something for everyone. And that's not the last thing, because there's also the tepid line, which
That's
we keep
right.
on saying. This is where you can call in and you can leave your trip reports. We're going to shows. We're giving you a trip report. We know you're all going to shows. We've seen a bunch of you there. Call in and tell us about your experience so we can share that.
And the number is 971-808-1524. That's 971-808-1524. Operators are not standing by, but the Google voicemail line is always standing by, ready to take your call. It will pick up. You start talking. You have 3 minutes to leave your trip report, and then I will play it on the show. Sound good?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
All right. And hey, if this is your first time listening to the show, welcome to the family, man. We love you guys. Thank you so much for
Welcome.
taking the
Welcome
time.
and thank you.
Welcome.
Please remember to hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts so that you get alerted when new episodes come out. And stay tuned for some really good shit, because we have a bunch of episodes in the can with some amazing artists and musicians and cool stuff that you didn't really know about before. We were going to bring you some mind-blowing stuff here in the future. So stay tuned, man. Hit that subscribe button and check it out. Are you guys ready to get to the interview with Marcus Rezak?
Yeah.
Yeah, ready to get to that. And by the way, you can check him out. He's been touring all over. He is playing after parties after Dead shows. He has an after party after Fish up at Dick's in Denver. Check out his Instagram and you can find out where those are going to be.
And also, you got to go check out the new album, Truth in Sound. It has Tony Markellis and Ray Pachkowski from the Trey Anastasio
And
Band.
Russ Lawton.
And Russ Lawton on there. Truth in Sound is an amazing exploration of improvisational music, and Marcus fucking shreds it. So go check that out. And yeah, let's get to it, y'all. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Marcus Rezak.
Murder me at the stake. I can't shake this feeling. nothing to ignore. We're intertwined, frame of mind that pulls us close and shore. I try to show you all about the golden states and seas. But sometimes the ship will lean sideways against the streams. As we love here in the light of the moon, sailing in starlight circles, we love to see us through. In the light of the moon, dancing in the light of the moon. In the light of the moon, dancing in the light of the Taurus and Libra, most gentle of all bulls. Nothing seems to matter except when they got the blues. Gotta be built to last and always rise above. Just wanna feel you again to share and feel the love. As we glow here in the light of the moon. As we glow here in the light of the moon. As we glow here in the light of the moon. Sailing in starlight circles, we love to
Welcome to the show, Marcus.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is Mel, one of the 3 hosts of No Simple Road. Aaron.
Hey, Mel.
I'm Aaron. How's it going, man? Good to finally meet.
Hey, Aaron.
And I'm
You
Apple.
too. You too.
And yeah, I'm glad this finally happened, man.
Yeah, we had a couple of misses, dude, and trust me, I get it. It happens to the best of us.
Thank you. Thanks for being patient.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy couple weeks, couple months here. So
I mean, right now,
happy to be here.
anything that's going on is a good thing at this point, you know? How you feeling, man? How's things going?
Things have been great. I've been really happy to be back on the road the last month, basically. I've been out there. I was on the East Coast for the last 2.5 weeks and just had a great homecoming return back to Denver for my album release show this past weekend. So it's been great. I've been feeling really good and happy to be performing for people again.
Heck
Well,
yeah.
how was that album release party?
It was fantastic. I mean, everything went really well. The crowd was really receptive, and we had a bunch of awesome people working on the production side of things for the show.
Yeah.
We had an amazing projection mapping system from our friends at Lightbrush, and I had a great band with me: Dave Watts from the Motet, Todd Stoops on keys, and Todd Smalley on bass. So I felt great about the show and the performance, and it feels really good to get the music out there.
Aw.
Yeah, man. And we had a couple of weeks before Tony passed, we had Ray and Russ on the show. And then actually, like, maybe a week after he passed, we booked you. And I just wanted to talk to you about that and find out, like, going into the studio and spending time with somebody and creating music with them, and then having that happen post recording the music and then putting it out. Does it change? I mean, obviously it does, but in what way did it change the way you felt about what you guys did together and the importance of it?
Absolutely. It changed the whole the meaning of the whole album, really. It took on a whole different thing because of what Tony gave to the record, and what it felt like to record with him and Russ and Ray all at the same time. And just, it's sort of like I felt more of a feeling of having to carry on a legacy of a man who gave so much great music to all of us in so many different ways. And I just feel very blessed to have made the potentially last record he ever made with anybody, and to carry on his sound in the live shows and who I play with. And it's deeper, obviously, than it ever was. And the day that I had set to release the album was the day he passed away.
Wow.
Which is so we put the record out, and then 4 or 5 hours later got the news. And so there's this very big yin and yang sort of concept happening. And for me personally, it feels like I'm here to do something more than I ever imagined before, to carry on this guy's amazing legacy. So Tony, rest in peace, and thank you.
Wow.
Whoa. That's heavy, man. That's, I mean, Fish and Tab and The Dead and just the whole music scene is such a huge driver in all of our lives. It's the fountain of creativity and a place that we find expression and, this well of emotion and community and people and connection. And I can't even imagine, like, playing with the guys that you know what I mean, that are part of that, and then figuring out or having it laid on you that you're carrying that legacy forward after somebody's gone.
Yeah, it's it's an honor at the same time as something very, very spiritual. And just music for me is something that's completely spiritual, and the transferring of energies of people and their sound is something that's you can't quite say it's a tangible, describable thing. And it's just something that you feel in the moment and know how to, continue that. So yes, I agree with you that it's, something that's very deep and something I feel, excited and honored to keep going with. And, growing up listening to Tony and Russ and Ray play a lot, since I was probably 16 or 17, it's a lot of full circle sort of things and, life cycles and everything. It's just a big thing to kind of conceptualize, but within the music and writing more songs, that's the way I do it. And, that's the way it goes with musicians. We're all here to make music and give it to people. And that's what carries us on. So,
yeah.
Marcus, when did you, since you've been playing music, when was the beginning of you realizing that spiritual crossover? When did you start to feel that in the music as opposed to just learning an instrument?
It's a great question. I, it was really early on that I noticed this with playing guitar primarily. When I had the guitar in my hands, it took me out of whatever was happening around me at the time. Growing up as a kid, and the stresses of just school, growing up, all that stuff. So found the guitar and I'm just in that zone, in that moment of clarity and, Zen. And that was the place I figured it out, early on, that I had this connection with infinite possibilities and exploration. And so it's like, that was the early start of it. And then once, I guess, playing for people and feeling the response and the connection and realizing the connection that I felt when I would go see bands too, at that time in my life, especially, I was really excited and felt like that this was the thing for me. This was the eye-opening portal to my happiness in life and connecting and giving happiness to others. And that's I think the formula that makes the world go round,
Well, you definitely get the happiness. That's what I was going to say. I was just, before we came in here and started this morning, I've been sitting out on the patio watching YouTube, and I was watching the show you just did, Balderdash, at the Stone Church and everything, and to see you up there smiling and everybody having so much fun. And then that blew me away too, to see that was only the second time you guys have performed together. And that it was amazing. That was amazing to see. I gotta go. I'm gonna watch the rest of it later today. I got up to the second set opener with "Got a Jaboo" and everything, but that was a fantastic collaboration that you pulled together there too. There's a lot of research to do with you. I love that when I go to look at somebody's music, and that you've played with so many people and so many configurations are just out there, just working it. And to see you finally back on stage now after this hiatus we've all had is just. It's spiritual to see you guys up there, and you're at the Stone Church with the organ in the background and stuff. I mean, that's a hell of a venue.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Yeah, that the Balderdash tour was a lot of fun, playing with all the guys, and in Vermont, one of my favorite places to play music. And we had a great time. Super improv heavy, and we tapped into a lot of different songs from all of our original bands over the years. And it was a lot of fun. I always have fun in Vermont, and the Stone Church, that was a cool venue for sure. It sounded amazing in there, and yeah, really, really fun. And I do love collaboration and playing with a lot of different artists, and I've been blessed to play with a lot of amazing people, and it's fun. It's fun to keep it fresh. And I've always been someone who's plays a lot of different styles of music and likes to keep things kind of new and fresh all the time. So playing with different people allows that new creativity, and it's always a different formula for what's going to come out. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. playing with Adrian Tramontano on drums and Todd Stoops on keys, Ryan Dempsey from Twiddle, you know, all the guys. It's been a lot of fun. And, you know, we just had a tour the week before that also, up and down the East Coast. We did about 7 shows, doing just my original music, and Shred Is Dead, my other project.
It's so good.
Kind of combined. Yeah, we like to combine I like to pepper my originals into it as well. So this all has been sort of part of the Truth and Sound release tour that I'm doing. And yeah, it's just been a lot of cool stuff. The band that I was going to just talk about was with John Kimmock on drums.
I love John.
Who's an amazing drummer, obviously, and had a blast with him. And John Coleman on bass from a band called Muscle Tough, really cool band from Philadelphia. And Scott Hannay on keys from a band from Mr. F. So we did a lot of awesome shows and developed a really cool rapport. And that's been fun to do again with my bandmates, you know, playing 6-7 shows in a row and getting that feeling back, you know, tightness. Yeah. So
we were talking this morning, man, about like pre-quarantine momentum. And like for us, there was a momentum happening in towards the end of 2019, at the beginning of 2020, that was like a palpable thing. And when COVID hit, it obviously turned the flame down to low simmer. You know what I mean? And it was just a kind of a struggle, not really a struggle, but just a thing to keep things going and making sure that the fans could stay connected with you guys and you guys connected to the fans, and like providing a digital space for everybody to get together. And now that things are opening back up, there's a palpable, tangible, like feeling in the air, in the undercurrent of something brewing. And I'm just curious for you, man, did you have that kind of same experience going through everything and now coming out of it feeling like there's something cooking?
Yeah, you know, everything stopped like right around March of 2020, and I had already started working on this new record and was really gearing up to have it done earlier in 2020. And we had a lot of shows lined up, some really great shows, some festivals actually with Tony, Russ, and Ray and myself that didn't get to happen. But, you know, a bunch of stuff kind of got kiboshed at the time. But I sort of had to find myself making a lot of pandemic pivots, as we say, and created a lot of new avenues for myself that I didn't have time to do before, and still, you know, managed to do a couple things, you know, that were done safely, and you know, to keep us all going a little bit, you know, to have some safe, everyone tested, spaced out shows before entering type things. But, you know, I started teaching a lot online again, you know, putting my master's degrees and whatever to use, you know, trying to do something with that. But I love teaching jazz and I love teaching in general. So that was fun. And then finishing this record, you know, was the main priority, which I ended up doing, getting the tracking done, getting the, you know, the mixing done. We did it virtually, actually, believe it or not. We had the audio going live and the video going live on separate platforms. And I was able to mix with Joe Hedinga, who did the mixing on my record. He's out in Michigan. And so we were able to work and finish the album during the year, which was cool. And then, you know, that was a big deal, I guess, considering it was hard to travel and all that.
Right.
And then, you know, we had a few events. We had an event in St. John on the Virgin Islands called Virgin Islands Shakedown. Small gathering of people. And again, it was all tested and done very safely there. So, you know, we did some things to keep us going. But really, it was a it was a big change from what we had planned. So now we're here. We've got shows booked, we're playing Summer Camp Music Festival coming up. You know, there's a lot of great stuff on the horizon, and, you know, already working on a new record, believe it or not, right now, you know, and so things are always going with me. I don't really tend to slow down very much. It's not in my blood to sit around and not do anything, or it drives me crazy. So, yeah, that's kind of it. Like, just going right now, going and going.
I know the feeling,
More
man.
music.
Well, welcome back to the road.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
It's amazing to be able to have that forced break, and now you're riding the bike without the training wheels again. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we think it's going to be hard to start up something that we had to put down, but it seems like you just kind of went right back into it. And that's not an easy thing to do based on everything that kind of happened during this time with, you know, mental illness, emotional weirdness, social anxieties, all those types of things rolling around. Like, you really did do a fantastic pandemic pivot, and you lost a great, you know, friend, mentor, you know, music buddy. Like, congratulations on getting through it fairly gracefully. You know, you're doing a nice job.
Thank you. It was not easy, and, you know, nothing good comes easy, in my opinion. So, you know, life throws us curveballs, and we got to be able to adjust.
Yeah.
You know, and learn from it, and help heal people with what we know, and do the right thing. So thank you again.
Yeah, man, it's hard, Marcus. Like, just on a personal level, forget music, forget touring, forget writing, all that stuff. Just like having everything closed off physically and figuratively was a difficult thing for human beings on this planet to deal with, man. And like, coming out the other side, like, I don't think that there's been enough conversation about this, really, like, that we've come through it, and that we're coming through it, and that we made it, and like giving ourselves credit for coming through something that was unprecedented in our lifetime. None of us have ever been through any shit like that. And I know for me, man, there was moments in there that were sketchy, super fucking sketchy. And to be able to stand on the other side of that thing and look back at it and go, oh, fuck, I made it through that. And like, and I actually brought some cool stuff out with me.
Actually got a little stronger.
Yeah. Like
in ways.
That's needs to be said more, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone deserves a round of applause for getting through this ordeal, you know, and coming out stronger on the other side. You know, it's, as it always is when we go through really difficult things in life, you know. And so, you know, yeah, everyone, you know, now we're here. The aftermath is rejoicing and celebrating what we didn't have, right? So I think everyone should be happy now and enjoy life.
And let's party. Yeah. No,
and use some of that sound therapy that you're bringing to the stages. Because I know for us, we were just talking about how music makes everything better. You know, you go to a party and there's no music on. It's kind of quiet. You're talking to each other. It's great. But then the second you put on a song that either everybody recognizes or that's funky or groovy or something, it changes the energy of the whole room. And that's just like maybe straight out of a record player or a Bluetooth, but then going and congregating in these churches and these stadiums and clubs and arenas, we're able to start healing truly again, like from healing the inside part of ourselves. Because I know that that's something that happens pre-pandemic. We used to shake it off on a Friday night, you know, go to our club and like see our favorite local band, or, you know, wait all month to see our favorite touring band, and shaking off the dross, seeing your friends happy, all that stuff. And it just changes. It changes the energy of the person. So that way it kind of changes the energy of, I mean, it may sound dramatic, but the world really, like that rejoicing is like in everyone, instead of kind of like being held at bay.
Definitely. It's sound therapy, and the sound waves are vibrating our cells in our bodies, you know, and it's all happening. It's, and being together with all the people, we're in the big petri dish of rejoicement and energy and fun. So the more we're together, the better it is, I think, and
oh, it's good to hear you say that.
I have fun. I love being able to perform and send that energy out to the crowd, like that feeling of just playing and conveying the emotion that's in the music is where my happy place is. And I share that with other people, and it feels great.
That's so dope.
Happy to do it.
That's what's great about seeing everybody, like seeing you and your happy play. I'm so happy to get to finally have goosebumps back.
Yes.
I got it when I was watching you at Balderdash, watching some of your other stuff. And then now we have some really good friends that are up in Red Rock right now. Even though we're not there, we know String Cheese Incident just is playing 3 nights up in Red Rock. We're seeing the pictures. We're getting to see the streams. It's like all of a sudden, it's as quick as the switch was turned off back in March. All of a sudden, flipped it back on, and it's so much more powerful and seeing. And the main one that really broke through to me is what was that 2 weeks ago now? The Peach Festival.
Oh yeah,
it
like the first big festival that somebody pulled off. They did it good. Everything was fine. Everybody was dancing hip to hip and everything. It's just like the fountain of youth is back. The switch has been turned on, and I'm just so happy to see you guys and all these musicians and the crowd back. Like it went from 0 to 60, like boom, like we're back.
Oh yeah.
And
we couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah. We're all bursting at the seams. And
it's Christmas morning.
What do you have going on today, Marcus?
Honestly, today is literally my first day off in a month. I haven't been home so I had rehearsals every day this week and gigs, and like today is the first day. I'm like, wow, I don't have to rush to be anywhere.
Hell yeah.
So I might go with some friends out to see the String Cheese tonight or tomorrow, just blow off some steam. Jason Hahn's a really good friend of mine, and we played a lot together. And
Jason's amazing. We talked to Jason when they played here. I keep going to say last year. Like last year didn't exist.
It was 2019.
It was the year before. We got to talk to him down at Cuthbert Amphitheater up here in Eugene. And what an awesome guy.
Oh my God.
He's great.
We had such a great conversation with him, and we're supposed to continue that conversation.
Yeah,
we just haven't.
We were supposed to do a round 2 with Jason.
Yeah, they were getting ready to go. We talked to him right before they were getting ready to hit the stage and stuff, so it was a little tight on time. But man, what an interesting guy.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we played a lot, and we were in St. John together this year performing, and yeah, he's an interesting guy. It's really cool history and awesome way of playing. Yeah,
Marcus,
really good.
Have you heard about Bismarcky today? Or I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I saw a flash go by on my phone about it.
Yeah.
I remember he used to DJ a lot at Brooklyn Bowl in New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember like a few times when I was there playing, he would be doing like the in between sets, like DJing and stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it sucks. It's very sad. Like anytime a great, an artist is gone, it's awful. He put out a lot of music.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're trying.
He's switching it up to phone here. That's what I was going to ask you too. I saw on just looking at like your Instagram too. I saw was it tonight? Were you doing a Schofield tribute, or you guys are going? I saw you posted something. Was that tonight or?
That was last night.
That was last night. Okay.
Yeah. It went really well actually. I'm a huge Schofield nut. Grew up, listening to him and studying his playing since I was like 15 probably. So. And then I was at Berkeley in Boston where he went and he taught there for some time. And so I love Schofield. And we did the show last night at Dazzle Jazz Club in Denver. Really cool venue that's getting a lot of different types of jazz, not just straight ahead. So we had a good show last night, and definitely going to do it again, it was fun to curate the show, and describe the songs like from the albums and, the year and everything to the audience appreciates that, I think. And it's a good respect for him to share some information about his music. So, and we had fun playing it. So.
Yeah, that's the thing too. And that's what's so awesome to see now is like all like West Coast, we're a little behind. I mean, things just a couple of weeks ago finally opened here to where you could take masks off, and all the small jazz clubs, things are opening up, things are getting booked. It's just amazing to see to get our lives back.
Are you guys up north or down south?
No, we're north. We're Portland.
Yeah, we're
Oregon.
in Portland. Yep.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Are you coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, when are you coming to Portland?
Well, now, things are starting to be, more open. So now we're going to look at probably the fall for coming up there, if not late summer. Yeah. Looking at some potential Dead and Company after shows, Fish after shows, that we'll be announcing pretty soon. We're definitely doing one in, I'll just let the cat out of the bag. We're doing one in Los Angeles, after Fish this year. So it's going to be pretty cool. And it's right across the street from the venue. So
what?
Where are they playing in LA?
In the Forum?
They play at the Forum.
They play at the Forum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
So my experience with Fish, man, I started seeing the Dead in 89, and like Fish was always part of the scene. But for me, I never locked in. I love the jams, but like the lyrical part of Fish never hit me. And it wasn't until 2015, man, at Fare Thee Well, we're sitting in Chicago, and I'm like, I need to see this band. This guy is fucking amazing. And so him and I went like a couple of months after Fare Thee Well to the Forum to see him, and ate a bunch of mushrooms and went into the show and left there like, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't been following these guys around for 30 years. What was I doing? And it's just been like nonstop ever since. The coolest part of that was like, it's cool to be able to like, now I have 30 years worth of stuff I have to catch up on. I want to catch up on. I want to know everything I can about this thing. And I wonder with you, man, what was your first experience with Fish's music and like the time that it like nailed you like that?
Yeah, well, I was about 14, I think, and my best friend's older sister, of course,
Right.
gave us a Junta record, and we listened to it and we loved it, and like, and that it's something about it just grabbed us, from that record, the first one. And then I saw them in 1999 at Rosemont Horizon, as it was October 3rd, 1999.
I love it. Everybody knows their date.
Yeah, we got dropped off. Our friends' parents drove us there. Of course, we didn't have licenses. Yeah, we were kids. Yeah, and that show was pretty life changing at the time, and I was like, I want to do this. I love how this sounds and how this feels, and this is community, and the whole energy and the whole thing was just like everything I had dreamed of at the time of it being, because it was such a build up to like, I'm going to see the band, as a kid. So, that was the first big show that I had to, and I was also at Fare Thee Well, as checking it out, and I thought that was a pretty amazing experience, having all those guys together at one time.
Yeah.
Pretty big. That was the closest I had ever gotten to a real Dead show. So I didn't get to go. Wasn't driven to the show at the time that I wanted to go.
You're right.
Were you playing music at the time, Marcus, when you first saw Fish at 14?
Yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 10.
Oh, wow.
I did, and piano was in my blood. When I was 3 years old, my great grandmother sat me down at the piano. She was a professional classical pianist, so it started there, kind of for me, ultimately, and with music, and it's always been something that's been around. And guitar sort of took my attention around the age of 10, and I met some friends who played, and I was like, whoa, that's cool, and realized that there was a guitar in my mom's closet at my grandparents' house at the time, found that, started playing that thing, you know, one thing leads to another, and started jamming with people and self-teaching myself for a while, and had some great teachers. And it's time to, you know, eventually decide if I was going to go to college or not. And music was the only thing I wanted to do, and it's what I did best. And so I went out east to Boston. It was great. And yeah, I mean, it just continued on, you know, my love for jam music, improvisational rock, you know, Fish and Grateful Dead too, you know, started early on. My uncle is a Deadhead, and, you know, pictures of him playing guitar for me when I was a little kid, and, you know, singing like Casey Jones and stuff like that. You know, so there's like a lot of that in my blood, but also a lot of other influences too. And so, yeah, it all stays in this periphery of like jam improv with jazz and different influences, and bands like Fish and, you know, do all kinds of music like that.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think there's something about that I've always connected with.
Was it
Yeah.
jam music that led you to jazz, or was it kind of the other way around? Or
No, it was, yeah, improv rock led me to jazz, I would
Right.
say.
us too?
Because I grew up with rock and roll, you know, from the age of 8 or 9, and got in jazz band in high school on the recommendation of a teacher. It's like, you should be here, you know, instead of just playing out in the courtyard for people and singing and playing, and like, you know. So I was like, all right, you know, I went to jazz band and learned how to read music, partially there and on my own from my teacher at the time. Yeah, it sort of developed in that way. Jazz took me more into the improvisational world, into learning how to create more motivic ideas within jams and be more spontaneous than I was before when playing with other musicians. And that definitely has helped me now to just be able to step into any sort of situation and in real time sort of react, you know, and play tastefully and help the music go where it needs to go, basically.
You know,
That's what we've had several conversations. One thing that trips me out with jazz has been in my life for, you know, I'm 52 and I grew up on it with my dad and everything through the 70s. And we talked to somebody, it might have been Russ or somebody too, that said it's a trip how much musicians admire. They're like, I'm a great player, but I'm no jazz player. Like, jazz is so different
high
and
esteem.
so technical and high esteem. But then again, he made the comment, he's like, you know, you don't get into jazz music to become rich. Like, it is such a discipline and everything, and so hard and revered, but it's not the same as like being a rock band or an improv band. That's always just been kind of a trip to me. It's like, you think there'd be more of an audience for jazz, like bigger show. I mean, like, you got Jazz Fest and stuff, but it always comes down like, you know, jazz is revered as like a very technical thing. And like talking to Russ about it and stuff, Russ really opened our eyes to a lot of, you know, because he's been around, and you're revered when you're a jazz player, but you're not out there doing as much as, you know, the Fish and the bands that are out there hitting it hard and, you know, selling out big venues and stuff.
Yeah, jazz is a real love, and for the art form and the tradition and the, you know, the style of the music itself and the history of the culture. You know, you don't start playing jazz because you want to make money, and I don't think musicians should go into music for that reason in general. I think it should just be for the love of the music, no matter what, because that is what translates the most if you're looking for that. But, you know, jazz is such an art form, and there's no like entertainment value. You know, I mean, it's no putting on a rock show, you know, dancing around and doing the splits and pouring whiskey on your head.
Lights,
you know,
and fringe costumes.
Yeah, that's fun and stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like bands like
yeah.
Van Halen and like fun stuff like that from back in the day, you know, but jazz is the teacher, is what I say. Jazz is the teacher of improvisational art. And I respect it more than any other kind of music for that. And, you know, that's where it started for offshoots, to do other things in rock music. And the fusion era of jazz in the 80s was a little bit of that rock and jazz arena thing going on, which was really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's true. Russ knows exactly what he's talking about. It's different, and you got it's the teacher, as I like to say. And
I like that.
Funk is the preacher.
It's taught me a lot. Yeah, I got my first record with Bill Evans on saxophone. Played with Miles Davis and so many others. He taught me a lot of things about making records, but also just playing live and just hearing him play, was really cool. And studying with guys at Berkeley and then just doing various gigs with other musicians. Jazz is an endless exploration and things to learn forever, from that music. So
that seems like what makes it fun is that there's no ceiling. Like even a Miles Davis, who is the man, I'm sure he practiced and kept going until he couldn't anymore. You know what I mean? There's no lid. You're not hitting the ceiling and going, okay, well, I'm done.
Well, is it because you're like playing with different people? So no two people are the same in the same moment, So if you're even doing your same tricks, it's going to sound different with somebody that you've never played with before, and somebody who's in a different mood than they usually are in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You're speaking with different people and having conversations in different ways, each time and creating a different story. So yeah, it's maybe the same chord changes or the same song, but it's done differently every show, and every solo is different every night, from that person. So, and I think that's what we love in improv rock, the fact we're going to go see 1 million shows and they're all going to be different, hopefully,
yes.
Yeah.
So you said something earlier I want to go back to, like when we were talking about seeing fish for the first time, or the time that was most impactful, and like you're there, you're seeing it happen, and like realize to yourself, fuck, this is what I want to do. Like this is everything I've been looking for, the community, the feeling, the spiritual side of it. And then fast forward to 2021.
What is a city without its music?
The legacy of the New York Philharmonic is incredible.
Nearly 2 centuries of history. That's a lot of music and a lot of stories.
I was sitting on stage for the very first time thinking, I can't quite believe this is happening.
Join me, Jamie Bernstein, as we explore the history of the New York Philharmonic. It's the NY Phil story made in New York, a podcast about a city, its people, and their orchestra. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
People have the ability to have that same experience seeing you play, right? Is that just
Hopefully.
is that just a right? Isn't that a kind of a trip to even think about that you're the dude that's providing that now for a whole new generation of people that are out there?
It's something that it's hard for me to sort of, feel a lot of like contentness in any way, because I'm always just wanting to do more for the people and more music. And, sometimes over the years, it's always a lot of pressure because you want to put your head down, put your blinders on, not take anything too far in, and just stay focused on what the goal is. But I've gotten, I think, a little better at embracing the fact that there is this audience now that's there and that I can communicate with and give more to and embrace that a lot more. And there is a huge full circle connection that comes into view, more and more as we perform these shows and see people again and talk to people and get, feedback and, hear stories of how they felt at the shows and what the music did to them, and so I feel so honored and blessed to be able to do what I do and be in this place that I'm in now, and keep doing more, you know, for everyone. And it's cool. It's really fun. And I love it. I love it. It's what I feel like I'm meant to do this. This is what I'm here for. So
that's,
you know,
that's
I want to
awesome.
keep going.
It's cool to hear you say that, man. Like, there's so much out there when you look around of like people not knowing themselves, and not just that, but like not finding what they're passionate about, always endlessly searching. And man, it's cool to talk to somebody that like is in their center and coming from that place of passion and like, this is my thing. I'm fucking doing this thing, and I want to be the best at it, and I want to have fun doing it, and I want people to have that experience. And I know that it's happening. And like I said, it's got to be a trip to realize that. And in some way, I guess it's not healthy to take too much of that in, right? I get that. But on the other hand, as we get older, like, there's no denying that that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still going. And then there's other stuff that isn't there anymore. And now this is the scene. And dude, everybody I know knows your name. Like, you're a fixture of this thing. You know, so I think, like you said, there's a healthy level of embracing that, but just realizing it and like just connecting to that, the energy of that, and being okay with it is really important. I'm learning how to do it too, man. It's a trip to realize that you're an elder in the thing that you came up in. It's fucking weird.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
That's weird. Thank you so much. I mean, it's really awesome to hear somebody say that about, you know, just as a music student, like you know, just like looking up to a lot of the legends, you know, it keeps me in check, you know, it sort of keeps me focused all the time. And, you know, after speaking to a lot of guys too, you know, this conversation has come up, like, you know, it's important to take a step back sometimes and take it in a little bit, because it's a 24-hour a day thing, you know, we dream about what we're trying to do, you know, so it's something that fuels the fire to get the, you know, the positive or negative response, you know,
Both
you know,
of them,
sometimes it's both, but that's part of putting your art out there on the line, and, you know,
feedback
and just doing that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
It's like the self-care part of allowing yourself to dive headfirst into your passion. You know, it's like the yin and yang, like you are able to do all that focusing and all of that, you know, dedication to your craft. And then you need to turn it around and receive the blessings and the joy from whatever it is that you've diligently worked hard to put out, you know, like then if you kind of avoid that part, you're not completing that circle. You're not allowing that thing to kind of feed you, you know. It's like you can't keep eating without pooping at some point, you know. Like,
well, you can.
No, but like working hard, and then you got to turn around and look, oh my God, I built a castle. All right, I'm still building. I'm building a town, you know, but you got to turn back and look at the castle, maybe take a picture, maybe walk through it once or something. And like you said, sometimes it's not positive. Sometimes you're like, oh crap, I got to get that crown molding, or, you know, something of that nature. But for the most part, you created something where there was nothing, and that nothing is a shelter emotionally and in the airwaves for people, and
conduit.
And it means something, you know. So I just personally want to thank you for doing that and bringing some beautiful sound therapy to the entire world.
Thank you so much. You know.
Yeah,
I really want to do it more forever, you know.
Sweet. We get to hear a lot more cool stuff.
you know, one last thing before we go, man. We were actually talking about this, maybe it was today or yesterday, and it was kind of along the lines of the conversation we're having right now about like when this was like in respect to the podcast. So like, you know, you start doing something and you know you love doing it, but you're not sure what you want it to be. And at some point it kind of is moving on its own based on how much work you're putting into it. You know what I mean? And we all have goals in our life. We all have things that we want to accomplish. And I don't know if you're like this, but like I get working so hard and doing so many things that I don't stop and realize like, oh fuck, I actually hit one of the goals, or I'm actually in the place I wanted to be. And never stopping to like enjoy it for a fucking minute and shut the fuck up and chill out. You know what I mean? I'm always like, oh fuck, next thing, let's go climb the mountain.
Already did that thing.
And I wonder if you feel like that too. Like if you've had to struggle with yourself to stop and smell the roses, I guess is the way you say it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm naturally born and raised a real hard worker, you know, constantly. That's the way I've been brought up, to work hard for what you want. And, you know, so that's kind of where I'm at. And as someone who self-manages at this point, you know, it takes a lot of time and energy to delegate responsibilities out to people and make sure things are done right.
Yeah.
And be represented properly, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing most of the time right now. And I would love to be just playing more and working on writing and recording constantly, but there's a lot of other stuff too that goes along with doing this. It's not as fun to talk about, but it's still a reality. And, you know, I just want to be rocking out on stage, walk out on stage with my guitar, all my stuff set up, bam, play, and gonna go hang out with friends, you know? But yeah, it's something that takes a lot of time and effort and energy. So I am very grateful and appreciative of all the people in my life that have been part of this experience, the fans who are being so supportive right now and, you know, help me reach a goal that I had set out to do on a Kickstarter campaign for my next record, and to put out vinyl of Truth and Sound and all this other stuff I'm trying to do. So I thank everybody for that, and just, you know, coming to the shows and having fun with me, you know, and we're just going to keep that going. And that's what really is the reward for me, is seeing people have fun dancing. That's really it. Yeah.
So I heard hard work and fun and gratitude. Those are the things I heard. Yeah. Right on, Marcus.
Yeah, man. And hey, I'll throw it out there. When you do come up to the Pacific Northwest, if you don't want to stay in a hotel,
or if you just want to come for a fun visit,
if you just want to come hang out, man, doors open.
We'd love to host.
Thank you. I would love to hang out with you guys in person.
I think we'd have a blast.
Really
man.
It'd be great.
I think so too. Yeah. Let's set it up. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
I'll send my contact info to Leah.
Please do.
I will.
Awesome.
All right,
and thanks again from me too for everything you do. You're a pleasure to watch. You do so many different things so well. Seeing you with all these different collaborations, it's really fun to me. It's always fun to see like Fish and stuff, but then to see them, just all the different collaborations and all the different music. There's always something new to see with you, and now there's going to be even more, because now you get to go out there. It's a green light. It's go time. I can't wait to see what you do this year and to finally get to meet you when you're up in this area.
Man, I appreciate that so much.
Right really, on, Marcus. Thank you so much for spending some Saturday time with us.
It's been a blast.
Totally.
Let's hang out soon.
Yeah.
You guys are
open door policy.
Yeah, enjoy your day off. Your only day off.
Yeah, go see Kay.
Yeah, I'll say hi for you.
Yeah,
you guys.
right on,
man. All right, brother. Have a good day, man.
All right, peace.
Take care.
Thank you.
That was totally cool.
Well, and it happened to me. It happened. Things happen how they're supposed to. Now he's out playing. He's so happy and stuff.
Yeah, it would have been a different interview a month ago.
Yeah,
it would have still been just as good, but
now things have changed.
This was a little lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the red light's off, the green light's on. It's time to go,
It's
go. And this
cool
dude is going, man.
To
He's
see
going.
the smile. The smile says it all.
Yeah, I will say the biggest improvement No Simple Road has made that I love is doing the Zoom calls, because we get to see people's faces, see their environment. Like when we did Arthur Leland, he like walked us around his property.
It's totally interactive.
You know, dogs
now.
in the shot, and it's just really cool to see people's life off the road while we do this. It's fun.
And on the road, we've done a couple that have been like in the van.
And everybody, even if they weren't used to, I mean, we weren't last year. We weren't experts at Zoom or anything. And then now, I mean, so many people have embraced that now. It's like, I mean, a year and a half, 2 years ago, it'd have been like,
what's Zoom?
I don't really want to do
People
video.
do Zoom.
Let's just do
Skype?
audio. Yeah, now it's like interactive and
It's
so
super fun. And like we were saying in the interview, you guys out there, Marcus is like one of those extremely prolific musicians that's doing everything. So, I mean, there's collaborations galore. There's new album, Truth and Sound.
Well, and he's doing all his own administrative stuff.
There's Shred is Dead.
And he's well schooled. Like you said, hey, he's all, I finally got to like use my masters.
Yeah, he's teaching.
To do some teaching.
Think about how many, just anytime you get a little bit out of hand about how much responsibility you have, think about a traveling, teaching musician that is an improv musician that has to do their administrative.
Sounds like he needs a guy like me.
Book their travel, negotiate their. That sounds exhausting.
Sounds like a man. Like you need a manager.
So it sounds like the job of actually doing the music would be the break.
Oh, shit.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when I finally get to go on stage, that's my relaxation.
Well, like he said too, it's a 24-hour. He's like, it's 24 hours a day, 24/7. Because when you're not doing it or making the plans, you're dreaming about your plans. Mm-hmm. Even at night when you're sleeping, it's still click, 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 click,
if
click.
If you're doing your own thing, that means it's all the time.
Well,
because it's your own thing.
Yeah, you don't stop being you. Okay, I'm off work. I'm not airing anymore.
You are doing your own thing. It's you.
Oh, wow. That's nuts. So
think about that.
So then there comes into play an entirely different aspect to life that somebody that has a 9-to-5 doesn't deal with, is learning how to shut it off. You have
and most
to be
people
able
don't know how to do it.
Right.
There's not always a happy medium in between that. You can't always find a perfect balance. Sometimes the imbalance is being a little bit better than the day before.
That's crazy. That's well done, Marcus.
Just a little bit.
But the more that you do it, I'm sure the better you get at it.
Yeah.
Not that it's not hard work anymore. Just the work may be a little bit easier because you're not always thinking of how you're going to do something. You just have to do the task.
It's the whole goal thing too, though. But because you're constantly, if you're doing it right, you're always in forward motion. So even though you've learned to balance, you're still stretching every day. And that's what passion is.
Oh, yeah. And that they're playing, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I know these X amount of songs, I'm going to learn X amount more.
And
like Janice said, you got to push just a little bit harder.
Yeah. I don't think that's what she was talking about.
That's up to interpretation, just like anything in music,
true.
sir.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody out there, guess what? You didn't say what.
What?
We'll be back next week with more stuff and things, and we love you guys.
We will.
And yay!
We're gonna keep coming back.
We are. We're not gonna stop. We're like a.
I mean, we might stop every now and then, but not forever.
No, we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep going.
Sometimes I need a break.
Till the wheels.
Well, I was gonna say
when
we
barking.
stop, they don't necessarily know that. The listeners out there, they're listening. Sometimes we have a break, but we do so much. We got things stored up.
Yeah.
We got a lot of presents wrapped and waiting right now to come out still.
All right. And remember, as you go back out into the world, it's important to remember these things.
Be kind.
Take care of each other. Smile at a stranger. Safety third.
Continue washing your hands. That's just
Hydrate.
always been a good thing to do.
That's not new.
That's a great thing that came out of the pandemic.
That is unusually new to a lot of people.
Washing hands?
Yeah, like after everything. Like oh, no, wash my hands. I heard a lot of people complain like, I gotta wash my hands so many times a day.
I can understand the complaint. I still do it, but the complaint for me is like my hands can't be any fucking drier. Like they even if you if you use a paper towel, the paper towel also dries your hands out. If you use an air dryer, that's a tiny bit better, but it still dries your hands out. Soap that you need to use dries your hands out. Sanitizer that people like dries your fucking hands out. Like it is. I understand the complaint. Don't stop doing it. But I get it.
You know who made out like a bandit probably during all this?
Vaseline.
The lotion companies would probably roll. They're like Scrooge McDuck with the pile of cash rolling
swimming
around.
in it.
We love you guys. We'll see you next week. We love you. Take care and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hell means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? Non-simple road. Shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the April-May 2023 issue of Relics magazine. Features a Dave Matthews Band cover story with additional articles and interviews with The National, Graham Nash, Wayne Shorter, ALO, Ivan Neville, our friend Eric Krasno and Stanton Moore, Marty Stewart, and much more. Check out the latest version of Relics and subscribe now at relics.com/DMB. Thanks, Relics.
Hey, this is Steve Choi, host of the Musicians Guild podcast, part of the Sound Talent Media podcast network. Within the four walls of the Musicians Guild, we'll be discussing the habits, idiosyncrasies, experiences, and general psychology of my friends and peers, all involved with music in various capacities. Listen and subscribe at soundtalentmedia.com.